went poop. The other day, because of all the spring and wind and all that stuff that happens, we had a power outage, and it lasted for quite a while. Yeah, you with me, buddy?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here. Stuff happens, man. It's all good.
Okay, good. I was worried that I lost you.
Good.
I reinvited Superman too, but
Oh, that's my Luna.
so what kind of dogs do you have?
I got a long time ago. Well, now my first one is like 5 years old. I got a miniature Schnauzer, and it was my first time. It was a hypoallergenic breed, and dude, I fell in love with it. These little dogs are always around you, and that's what we wanted, right? We don't have kids, so
Right.
the dogs are playing a bit like kids role, and dude, they're so loving. They're always around you. They follow you everywhere. They're super active, and we just fell in love with the breed itself. And then like a year or two later, we're like, kind of sucks that we're leaving him at home while we go to work, and he has nothing to do. So let's get him a friend. So we went to get Luna here, which is my second one, and I named her Luna because of the token. So
Right.
it's a constant reminder what happened there. But
Oh man, rug. That one, like actually, people really got hurt on that one, and it's
you know what? I still have my opinions on it. I still think like it was an attack, like it was coerced to bring it down because they were offering like something like 20% to the US dollar. So they had this token, which was called USD, that would like trade automatically with Luna to keep its peg type of thing. And they kind of used a problem that was on the Cosmos side, actually, Cosmos SDK, and they kept spamming the network, which would render the entire swapping feature to break down, and that's how the chain fell. They found a bug and they attacked it. So I
that's
don't
too
know who
bad.
did it, but they're trying to blame the founder and all that. He actually went to jail, so you know. It's kind of hard to say, but the guy named his daughter after the token, so I kind of have a hard way of thinking that he actually did it on purpose type of thing. I think it was just a bug. It got exploited and he actually took the fall for it. But it is what it is. But a lot of people lost a lot of money there. Me personally, I didn't lose any. I made some, but I left a lot on the table on the way there. So obviously, if you're buying tops and when the coin is doing super well, you could have bought it at $1, then it went to 100. Well, whose fault is it? And it's easy to point the finger afterwards. But when you're investing in these markets, that's the number one thing they say. Make sure whatever you invest, you get ready to lose it because these are the riskiest assets on earth right now. Cryptocurrencies, they're dangerous. So at the same time, the disclaimer, maybe it's not always there. So the guy took the fall for it, man, and he missed the first couple of years, and I think he's still in jail, or maybe they might take him out soon. But he missed his entire daughter growing up and stuff. So sometimes I kind of feel that he fell victim to all this. But again, I know some people have different opinions, so it is what it is. But I've made peace with it. My dog, I love to still, even if her name is Luna. And yeah, two miniature schnauzers, and they're the cutest thing ever. They're super small, super friendly for apartments. I live in an apartment, so
Okay, yeah.
that helps. And yeah, they're super active. They bark a little bit there when they hear everything, but
Yeah.
absolutely. What do you have?
We don't know exactly what she is, but if my wife was up here, she'd tell me. So when she gets back up, I'll ask. But she's a big dog, medium large, and she weighs about 54 pounds or so. And she's black, mostly. She got anxiety issues whenever we leave the house without her. Especially if we just go outside to like pick up the shit or something, right? She'll just freak out and start howling that we've abandoned her. So she's just a year old, still young. She's not very good at walking yet, though. Have to work on that because she likes to pull and bark at everybody, especially little kids.
Now that you're talking about tricks for dogs, well, the first one, Logan, that's what I named him, Logan, and super smart, like crazy smart. I make him do rollover, play dead, like all the tricks, that you teach her the basic tricks.
Right.
And he listens, and he's like a human. Like when you talk to him, his ears perk up and everything.
Right.
Then when I got Luna, I can't even teach her to walk. It's unbelievable. She's so hard headed, and she has to be first when we walk. She has to, make sure she eats first, and it's really funny. They have different characters, right? It's the same breed, but completely different characters. So.
Yeah, and then that's the part where it's definitely like kids, eh?
She's a lot of fun. And dogs, man, they just bring that a positive energy in a house, right? They're always happy to see you. They always want to play.
Yeah, they always get in the way. They always kind of do stuff they're not supposed to, piss you off once in a while.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what she was signed up for.
Yeah. Who knew, right? It's like with kids too. You never know exactly how much work it's going to be until you're doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's not work, but every time I gotta travel and stuff, it's hard. Find somebody to watch them and somebody you trust, because these are now my babies, right? So
yeah,
it's hard.
It is. We've only had our dog, like not this one, but our other dog was in a kennel a couple times, and you gotta constantly worry about it. And is it happy there? Is it missing us?
Yeah. It is, though. It is, but my family is Italian. They came from Italy, right? And dogs, they're like just walking in the streets there, so they don't really understand what all this love for dogs is like. But it is what it is, and I know a lot of dog lovers would completely disagree with that take. And they leave them outside all night, and us, they sleep sometimes in the bed with us. We cuddle with them.
Oh
so
no!
It's
Ours is too big for the bed. Yeah, much too big.
We don't want to, but we leave.
You guys want to hear
a lot, so we want to try and spend as much time with them as possible.
You guys want to hear a funny story? I had a guy I hired back when I was a manager at Costco. There was a guy I hired. I think he was from one of these African countries. He came here. He was looking for a job. The guy was really cool. Whatever. Anyways, we hired him. And
please don't tell me you ate the dogs.
Well, yeah, exactly. Wait, listen.
No.
So at Costco, you have these people that have these. What do you call those things? Those service dogs,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they would come next to him, they'd become completely crazy. They'd start barking, growling at him.
No way.
And I used to tell him, like, why are they doing this? He's like, in my country, these are not pets. We eat them. I was like, wow.
That's wild, eh?
Holy cow. And the dogs, could feel it,
Yeah.
For sure. Dogs are smart as hell.
It was funny.
But it is kind of something that, if it wasn't for them being pets, for some of us, they would be food. People keep chickens as pets. Or we eat chickens.
Yeah, where do you draw the line from a pet to food, right?
When you give it a name, I guess. When you start really loving it and want to see it grow up and be strong and have a happy time. But what about those? Do you know what 4-H is? It's a
no, it's
4-H. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for, but it's like something that country kids do, right? Like they raise their cows and they go to these cattle markets and stuff like that, right? But they raise their cows in order to sell it, but they become pretty close to their cow, and when they sell it, they know it's going to get killed, right? So they're like all sad and shit.
I can imagine that. I know people do that with sheeps. People really fall in love with those baby
and goats.
Those little babies, they're so cute, man. The goats, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They're so cute when they're small. But in Italy, they my parents and stuff, they had farms, and when they brought my bigger brothers, not me there, but my bigger brothers, they would make them play with the animals and stuff, and then they would kill it and make them eat it, and they would cry and get so sad. And you just made me play with it all day and all week, and now you're killing it.
That's mean. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. It is really mean, but that's what it is, man. These old school, they were all farmers. My parents, they came from like a really farm type of family, and that's what they did. They raised animals, pigs and stuff, and then they would beef them up and have meat for a long time with them.
Yeah, my grandparents are the same way. I was when I was young, like 6 or 8, something like that, like forever ago. I went to their farm, and everybody was gathered all around in a circle, and in the middle of the circle was this great big tree stump and an axe and a bunch of chickens. And have you ever seen a chicken get his head cut off?
They just run around, I heard.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've never seen that before. So that was freaky, hilarious. And then one time, this one chicken, it stopped moving. So my brother went over there and he poked it. and it jumped up and it started chasing him without a head. Oh, it was the funniest thing we'd ever seen.
That's hilarious.
Holy shit. So that was a cool
times.
memory. All right. But yeah, my grandparents were both kind of farmers, especially on my dad's side. They had a chicken farm and they had pigs, and one of my cousins raises bees. He's a beekeeper. So a lot of farming in this
I don't know
community.
I don't know if you have that around your area, but I know here in Montreal there was a huge wave of immigration of Italians that came here,
Okay.
and they all still do their gardens. You know, like pretty intense. Like if you would go see their gardens, you'd freak out. Like they have everything. They grow tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, raisins. I mean,
Raisins?
absolute grapes. Sorry, not raisins. Grapes. Sorry about that. In French, it's. I'm juggling 3 languages here.
I get it.
Go with me. And yeah, man, they use it. They make the wine. They make the tomato. They still kept all those values. And I remember doing that with my grandparents. We used to do our tomato sauce, the wine, everything from scratch. And I feel that sucks that we're losing those things. But now, with YouTube, you can still try and redo it. And I would love one day, if I would have time, to try and bring all those traditions back, because yeah, it was unique. Like we would make tomato sauce for like 2 years or 3 years in the mason jars, and it would take us a week or two, and they would get like huge orders of tomatoes in the garage, and we'd have to cut them, wash them, grind them, take out the skin from the thing, then boil it, and then put it in the mason jars. And the sauce was always the same, right? Every Sunday was that's the sauce we make. We make that big pot of sauce with meat, and we would eat it. So
Well, I went to buying the tomatoes at Costco. I used to buy a pack of 6 for like $5-6.
6 tomatoes for $5-6?
There's six cans of tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
The ones that we used to make the tomato sauce. So, if you know a bit about Italians, when you make the tomato sauce, you need the long tomatoes. They're called.
you're disappearing slowly.
He's going to get his coffee. He's walking. He's talking. He's good.
They're called the San Marzano tomatoes. That's what you normally use to make a good Italian sauce.
Okay. I like tomato on the
I
vine.
used to buy a pack of 6 for like $5-6. I went the other day to go buy some. These things are almost $15-20.
Yeah.
Even the can, Superman. If you buy them in cans, if you go the real can with the San Marzano tomatoes, they're like at least 5 times the price of a regular can of tomatoes. So.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They were like almost $20. I couldn't believe it. And they put in a pack of 3.
All right. Hey, guys, I have a question for you that has nothing to do with tomatoes. It has only to do with crypto. You've heard that Jupiter and acquired the Drip platform, right?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
So that's kind of neat. I think now, like with that, the Jupiter people are having like contests and some creator things on their to kind of tie it all in with the Drip creators. But I wonder what it's going to mean for like the platform itself and for the future of Solana and Drip, because I mean Jupiter is huge, right?
Well, you know what? I think the reason they bought it is I think the latest, let's say when they removed the drips, and I think the platform wasn't potentially making a lot of money. So they really bought the whole infrastructure of it. Now, what they're going to do with it, I don't think they bought it for no reason. I think there was so many artists and creators there that's what they wanted, right? They wanted those creators to come and create on Solana. And Jupiter is a huge exchange with all kinds of VC capital and all kinds of cash. So I don't know what they're going to do. But, we're already here on Drip. You're already producing art here for a long time. So, and yeah, I don't know if people know, but we did post it in the Discord that you guys can go and collect some pieces that Byron dropped this morning.
Yeah.
I did post it in the Discord. But yeah, what's going to happen with all that? And I am also curious, and I would like to follow it. But I mean, the acquisition was done, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. So they're probably debating on what they're going to do now that they have the app, and they're probably transferring all the intellectual property and all that to them. And they're going to probably make some sort of announcement. So yeah, Drip has always been something. I thought there was going to be an airdrop at some point. So that's why I had started initially to do it. But that airdrop never came, and I think Vishnu sort of like popped everyone's bubble when he said that you guys, there's no airdrop here. It's just a a creator's tool. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just curious what Jupiter's going to do. They did a big airdrop, so who knows? Maybe they're going to reward the collectors or the creators to build something or make some art for the chain, because it is high quality, right? A lot of these artists that are there are producing a lot of art, and it's fun for the collectors because it's super cheap. But yeah, let's see what they pull off. But it's very interesting, and it's
The really
it's a huge
interesting.
acquisition.
Sorry. One of the really interesting things about drip, though, is it's kind of recession proof. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down, because one drip is always one, or one droplet is always one droplet, and you're buying 1,000 of them for $1, right? And it always pays out the same way for the creators. So in that regard, it's kind of nice for creators. They don't have to worry about, oh shit, well, the stars is going down, wax is going down. Do I have to charge more or anything? It's always the same, right?
Yeah, and the drip is always the same value, right? Because it's purchased with the US dollar. So
Yeah.
I mean, drip is one drip all the time. So no, it is awesome, and at the end of the day, like especially with NFTs, you know, when you're buying these NFTs, one of the main reasons you should buy it is because you enjoy the art, and you know, try not to focus too much on the monetary aspect of it. And unfortunately, because this is crypto and it is like a huge casino, a lot of people put the emphasis on the money side of it, the business side of it. And yeah, we just, as an artist, as creators like yourself, you have to slowly try to integrate all those aspects of the producing art for Web3. And I think we did that pretty well with these creepy companions, Zomsays, and now you're kind of taking what we've done there and try to do it on wax. And because at the end of the day, it's nice to have an artist that's always available and producing a lot of art for us. But at the end of the day, there's bills to pay and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty. And let's see what they do, man. Maybe they have a special airdrop of Jupiter for for the creators or something when they introduce something. But we'll see.
That would be nice. I've never really relied on stuff like that. I've always just been, okay, I don't expect anyone to give me anything for free, so I'll work my ass off and make it for myself. And that's what I'm doing now with the drip. I'm trying to utilize the leaderboards more. So every week, the leaderboard starts fresh on Fridays, and that's when the final perks, the 101, goes out. But before that,
But let me ask you before you
Sure.
you keep going.
Okay.
What is the leaderboard exactly? Like in case somebody doesn't know what that is.
Okay, so if you go to drip.house/driphorde, that gets you to my little section on drip, and then up there you can see there's 3 tabs. The leaderboard is basically a way of people giving you thanks, giving you droplets, giving me droplets, right? So
So like tips.
tips, yeah, basically tips. So you
Okay,
get on the
cool.
leaderboard, you give tips. You send a thank you, and that's like the tip. So on my leaderboard, every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I give, well, Fridays is the final one, but so Mondays and Wednesdays, I give mid-snapshot perks. So anyone that's on my top 10 will get a legendary, right? So there will only be 10 legendaries. And everybody else that's on the leaderboard that's given 100 droplets or more, which is really only 10 cents. So everyone that's given me 10 cents or more during that week will also get a super low minted rare. I'll make a special rare just for that. So sometimes, you know, like last week, the legendary, there was 10 legendaries because there was 10 people in the top 10, but because there was only, I think, 6 people that had donated 100 droplets or more by that point, there's only 6 rares out there. So the rare is actually more rare than the legendary, which is kind of weird, but that's just how it works. Like I'm trying to be consistent in that. And in the beginning, the people that are early, they're going to get the best because they won't have to give much to get everything, right? But then my hope is with more consistency that I'm doing, in a couple weeks time, you know, it'll be a much different leaderboard where it'll be in like, right now it's, you can get on the leaderboard and be in the top 10 for just giving 100 droplets, 10 cents. You want to be number 1 though, you got to go $2 now. But there are other artists out there on Drip that have been really consistently producing and doing this kind of a, you know, their own method, but they were doing it consistently, and now they're getting like easily hundreds and hundreds of dollars every week because of their leaderboards, because of their consistency, and because of their being part of that community. So, you know, I'm trying my best to be part of the communities. You know, I got Stargaze, Wax, and I mean, I guess the whole cosmos, say, wax, drip,
Yeah,
all these
and you
communities.
really need a team around you because it's definitely not easy being the artist and promoter and socials, and it's a lot of work. And the thing is, though, is in times like these, people realize the consistency, the work that you're putting behind it. It doesn't go unnoticed, although we don't feel it sometimes, and we feel like the work we're putting behind it is not necessarily rewarded the way that we would like.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is super nichey. So
Yes,
I
it is.
mean, when the emotions are low, it's across the board and it's severe. But the thing is, the same thing happens the other way around. So when things become better and markets pick up, there's plenty of liquidity for everybody. So as long as you were there, you were showing up, you were doing these live streams like we're doing now.
Yep.
Although you're not necessarily getting paid to do this, we're doing it because we want to showcase your talent to our community, and we do have a large community across the board. But unfortunately, like a lot of them are focused in the crypto sphere, and when these things start going south, well, people get sour, not necessarily to the artist, but to the overall Web3 ecosystem. So they do other things in the meantime. But the thing is, when they come back, they'll come back and they'll see
Yep.
that you're still active, you're still producing art, and people are going to respect that. And I think eventually, with time, that's when the specific artists will break through and really make a stand. And I think with the collections that we're working with currently, that we want to try and unite all these ecosystems together, because I do think that is one of the main issues in Web3, is that right now everything is so fragmented and isolated, and it's like literally islands
Yeah.
all over Web3, right? And we're trying to build those connections through your art between these communities, because if all these community members would get together and really support you on every chain, I think we'd have a lot of success. And that just takes time, perseverance, and we're gonna get there, man. I truly believe it.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
too.
and I think we're at a phase where people don't really want to swap their tokens to mint because their tokens are at such a loss.
So cheap, yeah.
So swapping right now really hurts. So I think that's the main reason with the whole liquidity from retail not really coming in. I mean, if your token's down 75%, I mean, why would you sell it now?
It also
People
gives
would rather hold
opportunity
on.
new entrants, right? New people can come in because of these prices now. So it's an opportunity, I find. But yeah, when things go south, like that gift goes like, oh, I should have bought when it was at 100,000, but now at like 75, people are like, I ain't buying that shit.
Yeah.
So it's funny, man. It's human emotion. It's always the same thing, and that's what they use against us in these markets. And us, you see, like if you look at your NFT and you really like it, then you purchased it, or you got it for free. Your Zom says, well, you don't have to sell it. You can keep it and keep looking at it, and it just provides you that joy that you need. And it's not just a monetary dollar next to it. It's the actual art itself that you enjoy, and that's what makes you happy. And a lot of people are in that way, because look at our collections. Like, people are not listing more of our NFTs because the prices are going down. There's actually less, so people are not willing to give up their art for pennies. So it's pretty cool. And with this all burn system that we got going on, and with these next collections, guys, you can expect a lot of burning, a lot of burnt zombie flesh, because we really want to try and tie everything together via PFP collection. And Byron's working hard on it, and I'm sure in the next couple of live streams we'll see a bit more art there, maybe some samples, some previews, and
Sure.
we're potentially going to start whitelisting.
I think that's a good idea. I'll try my best to have some samples for the next live stream. I'll maybe even start with that as we begin our show, and go from there. Because I wouldn't mind. Let's see, it's April. I wouldn't mind getting it all done for April so that we can market it all May long and then drop it to June, maybe, or something like that. Let's see what you guys.
And let's not put specific dates, but I mean, that would be like amazing, because I do think that the markets can't go down forever. Although there's a lot of fear mongering out there, it just can't go on forever. Money has to go somewhere, so it's like energy, right? So right now people are selling their stocks, but what are they putting their money into, right? They're on the sidelines, but eventually they will have to either buy something else, and right now it's just, I feel like the crypto sphere, with all the new legislation and stuff, that eventually, like, it's the best place to put your money right now. Like Bitcoin, I don't care what anybody says, since 2008 it's been the best performing asset across the world. So it's beaten real estate, beaten currency, it's beaten everything. So to me, I think once all these big companies whatever, sell their stocks or whatever, they're going to have to put their cash somewhere, and they're going to put it in Bitcoin. And if they put it in Bitcoin, well, I think crypto in general will get a huge boost out of that. So it's coming, man. I truly believe it. The future is bright. The financial system is changing. It's hard to conceive and it's hard to view, but some people have had this vision since 2008. So Satoshi Nakamoto, that was his vision, right? And it's coming to life, man, and a lot faster than the internet. So the internet took a couple of years, a couple of decades to really get implemented, but I feel like crypto is just going to be that much faster because everything is digital now. Everybody's got iPhones. Everybody's doing transactions online, credit cards. Who carries cash? I haven't carried cash on me in a long, long, long time.
And like the argument is always like, oh, it's just a JPEG. I just right click and save it. Why is it worth money? But then Todd McFarlane made a good point when he was being interviewed by Drip House. He said, so when people talk to him like that, he says, okay, well, what about on your phone? Do you have any pictures of your grandkids or your children or your dog? And they're like, yeah, well, what's that worth to you? Right? It's just a picture. Mm-hmm. But if you didn't have those pictures of your dog, would you pay to get one? If you had no other way to get it, but you only had like for 50 cents, you can get a picture of your dog, and you would keep it, right? So that's kind of what the NFT art scene is all about. It's like, sure, it's a JPEG, you could right click and save it, but you know what? It's also a commodity in this modern age. It's how you're now going to probably trade most art as life goes on.
But reality is, if somebody wants to buy that piece of art, let's say the Mona Lisa.
Superman, you're gone again. You're gone again. We can't hear you.
Really?
Now I can.
Yeah, you're like all of a sudden you disappear.
It's like the Mona Lisa, right? How many copies do we have? There's a ton of copies, but if you try to sell it, as soon as somebody comes in and inspect it, you're not going to get what it's worth because it's not the real one. The NFT is the same thing. Yeah, you could take a screenshot or whatever, but if you're trying to sell it, well, you don't own the asset. You can't really sell it.
I don't think people understand the idea of selling a picture, though. That's what people don't quite get. Like, they don't understand that as an asset.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but I think you really brought a good point here. It's not just a right-click save, right? Because your image is now on the blockchain, and the thing that people don't understand about this is you see, like Superman was talking about the Mona Lisa, and some people make copies of it, and it's not the original. But with the blockchain, if I buy this specific piece, like your PFP here right now,
right?
If I buy this on the blockchain, I am the only one that actually owns it for real, and it's provable on chain. So you can't lie because the blockchain doesn't lie. It's trustless. You don't need to come and confirm, is it really the real one? Yes, it is, because it's on the blockchain. It's been inscribed or minted on the chain. So it's officially mine. You can right click it and save it. I could take a poster of Mona Lisa and put it in a frame and put it on my wall. Doesn't mean that I actually own the real Mona Lisa, right? And real collectors are going to want the original piece, because collectors, they don't have this, money is not an issue for them, you understand? They really just vibe with that specific piece. They give that sentiment, and that's what brings value to NFTs to me. So it's not the fact that you can right click or not. Who cares about that? You can use my PFP if you want, but you're just bringing value to my NFT, because if somebody wants my NFT and you're using it, you're actually promoting it for me. So
right, exactly.
And another sense is like, it actually builds the trust. Like, I'll give you an example. Card collectors, let's say a Wayne Gretzky card that's worth a fortune, right? So if you're trying to buy it on eBay, how do you know that if it's legit or not? You'll never know.
Exactly.
So it prevents a lot of people from doing some purchases, some trading. Whereas if you do it on the blockchain, well, you know 100% that it's legit and it's the real one. So it builds this trust factor between the buyer and the seller.
The only problem, though, is that, and this is what the biggest problem with, not the biggest, but one of the problems with crypto is all the scam sites, right? Like, as soon as someone starts being popular, boom, you got a whole shitload of competition that is just duplicating what they already did and making it look exactly like or better than the original. And now, so the new people coming in thinking, yeah, I want to get this. Oh, look, shit, it's really cheap. Not knowing that it's actually not the real thing, right? So that's when the whole do your own research comes in, right? Get involved.
Speaking of what you were just saying there is, let's say Stargaze platform, they have a system in place to avoid stuff like that from happening. So let's say somebody would try and copy your art from another chain, let's say Wax, and they would want to put your entire collection, right? They could right click and save the entire thing if they want,
Yep.
and then they could just launch it on Stargaze. But the thing is, on Stargaze, they have like a committee or governance, basically, where people will go there and say, "Hey, listen, this is copied art. You shouldn't put it on the platform." And Stargaze will remove that art from the marketplace. So
Yeah.
there's some change that will protect you from that, but
Wax will do the
it's
same.
pretty cool.
They actually shut down one account completely because they were marketing one of my works as their own, and one person complained, and they got their whole collection blacklisted. And then those people came after me to give me shit, saying I'm whatever. They just sour grapes.
But you know what? On the blockchain, it's verifiable that you launched it first, right? So
Right.
they can't. It's so like there's no like a gray zone. It's Byron launched it on, let's say, April 1st, 2019, and they can't deny that because it's verifiable on the ledger, which is the blockchain. It's verifiable, so nobody can contest what you're saying, and it's easy for them to say, "Oh yeah, it's true. This is a copy. Let's remove it from the platform." So it has its pros and cons, cryptos, right? I think what people are maybe missing a little bit is like the physical piece. Although it is digital, at some point maybe somebody would like to hang it on their wall or do that. And I think maybe that's just the part that people need a bit of time to adapt to. That it's not necessarily a physical piece anymore; it's actually just digital for now, and that's what we're trying to bring, right? With your art, is try to bring value to the physical piece, but because I do think there's some people that would really enjoy getting the first one, and I think you sent your first one out.
Yeah, speaking of,
For the companions, yeah.
Gravy should get that today, actually.
I don't know if he's listening. Maybe we should tag him in.
I sent him
in the
a
picture.
message in the Discord telling him that Canada Post says it's on its way out for delivery today. So
What's really cool, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do like an unboxing or put it on Twitter, and that's so cool of him to do that. And he really enjoys your art. He's collecting everything you're doing. I think he's at 75 creepy companions, so I think it's well warranted for him to receive that piece. And he actually got that piece for collecting another one of your collections, the Sphere Evils, and he was the biggest holder. So he really enjoys your art, and he's not selling it, right? He's collecting and keeping, and he thinks that we're providing value to him via the art and other things that we're doing, and he's one of our biggest supporters across the board now. So again, because he met you, so
him and Dizzle are really awesome, and I'm noticing like some more of the people that have found me on Wax or on Stargaze or even on Say, they're following me onto the Drip, and maybe they'll do the same as we continue exploring some of the other blockchains out there in the near future.
Yeah, because let's say even Mona Lisa and all that, like you've never really met the artist, and I think with the NFTs and these projects that we're doing, people are getting to know you personally, right? We're doing all these live streams, we're having conversations, so it's a different vibe. It's totally different. You really get to connect with the artist directly. I mean, anybody can come in here and have a discussion with us and talk to you and ask you questions, and you've got your own life, your own life experiences and stuff, and I think that has value. And it's just different. It's like a new generation of art. NFTs is like this whole new thing, and we're right into it, and we're at the beginning of it. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
I-
to see
I-
where
we're
it
still
goes.
early.
I think we're at the cusp of, I think, crypto's trying to solve the barriers of crypto adoption. And something I saw in the news, just I think it was yesterday, was Say getting this new global wallet. So
What?
you log in just with your email and your Google account. So instead of having private keys, you get a wallet basically with an email. So it sort of protects people from that barrier of downloading a wallet, putting
seed
your seed phrase.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more of the email integrated wallet kind of stuff going on lately, like all across the board. Lots of chains are trying to make it as simple as possible for the other people, non-crypto users, to get involved. Because obviously
And
there's
I
an
think that's
interest,
the
right?
next. I think that's the next step to really get retail to really
Because
jump in.
They have
I-
to remember
I ha-
who they're catering to, right? Who you're catering to, and you got to make it easy for them to do it. Because if you make it complicated, that's the problem. And I think all the chains are heading in that direction currently. I think interoperability, so for people to be able to use all the chains seamlessly, I think that's a huge thing. And I think Cosmos is pretty much a king in that department. That's what they've been working on for years now, and it's getting better and better. We've got Byron Eureka that's coming, so Ethereum liquidity is potentially going to be flooding in Cosmos. So, you know, you don't have to go launch on Ethereum with fees of 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 to mint your NFT, right? You can mint it on Cosmos for pennies and then transfer it back to Ethereum at, maybe not even $1. So these are all options that are made available. But that stuff takes time.
So that's a
and
bridge.
We're going through those growing pains. It's more than a bridge because Cosmos, because that's a problem with bridges. One of the biggest things that happened with bridges, there's a lot of exploits and hacks and stuff. And with Cosmos, you can't do that because it's not actually a bridge. It's native assets that they bring into the ecosystem. It's the real Ethereum. It's not a wrapped version, so there's less vulnerabilities that way. So it is unique. That's what makes Cosmos unique is that specific.
Yeah.
It's called IBC, inter-blockchain communication.
Imagine telling somebody you got to take your Ethereum, you got to wrap it and send it on Cosmos. It becomes like what?
What?
But we're talking about the NFT though, or are we not, or no?
Well, NFT or tokens, same thing, right? So with Cosmos now, there's a new project. It's called ARC, and that's what they're trying to do. It's the same NFT, but you'll be able to transfer it between the chains the same way that you would do with a token. Because an NFT, at the end of the day, is just a token, just a different type of contract. But it's just a token, just like a osmosis or Bitcoin. It's its own token. Each one is unique. But now they're building these bridges that you can transfer the actual NFT itself,
right?
Which is the right thing to do, right? Right now, there's a couple of bridges between, let's say, Ethereum and Base, and just a couple between them, the EVMs, but they're all separate. So all these new chains, Hyperliquid, what's it called, the Optimism, and all these other chains. These are completely different chains that needs like all different technology and bridges to be built in order for it to work, but if you build, let's say, on top of Cosmos, it automatically comes with all those features included. So why wouldn't you come and build your layer one? So you're still a layer one, but you're building it in an ecosystem that's already interconnected together. And I think in the future, that's what's smart, right? You don't want all that fragmentation. So by having a chain like Cosmos that already has them all connected together, as soon as you plug into the chain, you're automatically connected to all the other ones, which I think is logical, and it makes a lot of sense. So, and they're building towards that goal. So
let me ask you then. So when I make an NFT then on Cosmos, I can transfer it over to Ethereum?
Not currently. Right now, they just did the upgrade. So the thing about Cosmos is they went through some huge leadership change. So the Interchain Foundation just got taken over basically by this project called Skip. So their main thing was bridges. So they were like specialists in that. Bridges from chains to chains. That's what they were building, and obviously Cosmos was very attractive to them because that's what Cosmos does. It transfers all these tokens from one chain to the other. So they got in, and man, they're completely changing the marketing. The guys showing up on Twitter talking about it. All these upgrades that we're going through, and Ethereum was always like a chain that there was like we're going to be better than Ethereum. But at the end of the day, all the liquidity is there, and you can ignore Ethereum all that you want, but it is where everybody goes to provide like quality NFTs or quality projects, because that's where all the money is. So now that you can connect to it easily at super cheap fees, and that's what all these layer twos are doing. So Polygon, Arbitrum. But now imagine that all these layer twos, instead of being layer twos, they could actually be layer ones on Cosmos and be able to bridge to Ethereum. So it gives them more power, more scalability, and more of everything. And that's why sometimes it's a harder road to get to the goal and destination with Cosmos. But if they do end up being able to do what they want to do, I don't think they're going to have much competition in that realm in terms of interoperability.
Well, I saw his interview with Cryptocito, where he says he has about 50 partners lined up to throw in some liquidity whenever it actually goes live. That to me is going to be Very, very interesting to say the least. And I know they've been talking about ETF talks as well
That would
for
be amazing.
Cosmos, which is exciting. Another big thing that happened, I think it was this morning, they finally enabled BTC
Yep, Kepler is
on
integrated
Kepler.
with native Bitcoin in the platform.
So I mean, if you have to be bullish on an ecosystem, the Cosmos to me is right up there.
It's in a good
Magmar,
position.
I feel Magmar has really changed the sentiment, the tide of where Cosmos was going. We finally have some good leadership, good marketing.
Direction.
Also, I don't know, Byron, if you saw the mint that happened yesterday was called Architects,
I heard people
which is going to
talking
be
about
the
it.
first. Yeah, it's going to be like, it's a bit like Mad Scientist, but it's going to be NFTs traded in Bitcoin.
Okay.
On Stargaze.
Did you guys get
And
one?
they're going to go on Stargaze. I got one,
Yeah, I
yeah.
got quite a few. And what makes it interesting now is since they're opening and paving the way to have NFTs and traded in Bitcoin, well, you know, maybe in the future, if we do launch something, well, we can have it in Bitcoin. And I mean, who wouldn't want to launch a collection in Bitcoin? It's the most stable crypto out there. It's the one that has the most value. So obviously, I think a lot of people are going to want to head towards the Bitcoin route. And now, if Stargaze is enabling a bunch of these NFTs in Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin liquidity comes to the platform and the platform grows. So again, guys, I'm crossing my fingers, and let's just hope that all these things pan out. I know we're heading towards the hour here for the live stream, so
Yeah.
we'll keep some discussion for Thursday. But it's interesting, man. And again, we're right in the middle of it. We have our alpha section at AAA. We try to share as much information as we can, but you know, this is only works if the collective participates. So it can't just be me and Superman providing alpha. Sometimes it could be, let's say, Matthias in our Discord, or Gravy, or Don, and that's what makes it cool, and that's what builds that community. Because now we're not just community members; we're friends, and we're helping each other out, and we're providing alpha between each other, and that's how you build community in the Web3 space. And now we're doing it via the art. Hopefully, in the future, we can have some games and some more stuff coming in. But guys, we're gonna keep building. I mean, this is a marathon; it's not a race, and we're right in the mix. And we're relevant. We're always tweeting every day with you guys. We're trying to keep you involved with the socials. And I mean, who has an artist full time like Byron at their disposal, making art constantly for you guys? So I think we have something special, guys.
Hey, what's our dog breed? What's Bridget breed? I'm asking Monica what our dog breed is.
Labrador Retriever.
She says it's
Wolfhound.
probably like a Lab Retriever with some Irish Wolfhound in it.
Irish Setter Wolfhound.
Irish Setter Wolfhound. We want to do
Nice.
There's a thing where you can get a genetics done to find out exactly what your dog is. So she wants to do that sometime in the future. So since we're almost done, I am going to just say that I've actually started to work on my Solana collection a little bit of some one-of-ones. Like, not the... So every ecosystem, every blockchain has some of my fans on it, right? I have fans on Wax, I have fans on Stargaze, I have fans on Say, and I have fans on Drip, and I have fans on, well, all over the place. And so what I'm trying to do is use Solana because it's really popular. Jupiter, you know, Drip, all that stuff. And they have a way to sell your art as well as part of an auction, or if you buy it for a certain amount, you can actually own the physical, or you don't have to, right? Like, you can buy it for less and the physical will just stay with me. So I'm trying to explore that a little bit more. So if anyone wants to, find me on Solana. Give me pointers, check it out, tell me what you'd like to see. Maybe I can draw something for you. I started off with some small skulls. They're like the 4-inch, 4x6-inch, sort of like this size. Fully painted. 2 of them have little process videos. I sent you one of those videos today, Gigi. So that's what I'm trying to do with Solana as I continue working on the V2 and all sorts of stuff, because just gotta I produce and I gotta get rid of it.
While you're progressing on the art, I've been thinking a lot. You know, I've been on the road trip and stuff, so I'm always thinking of ways to keep things fresh and new and innovative. And you know, that's something that you know, although the markets right now are a bit shitty, it doesn't mean you have to stop thinking and stop doing things, because I think it's when you do different things that people really vibe with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And for Solana, yeah, I think even the PFPs that you're you're producing there, and this is idea, not necessarily something that's been done before, but we have seen some projects like Rect Gang that did the chickens on several chains. So they launched them on Base, Polygon, Stargaze, and I think Juno at the time. So quite a few chains all at the same time. It was rock and roll for them because at the time there wasn't the tech really to bridge all those things together. But that technology is coming. So I think going the PFP route first, to then present your one-on-ones for the collectors that built around the PFP. I think that's going to be a killer move. But again, we're still in discussions in the back channels. We're still seeing, the ins and outs and how we're actually gonna pull this off. And the idea here is to actually have you guys burn a bunch of these NFTs that you bought maybe for pennies or for not much, or the free NFTs from the Zombsays, and you guys would use those as currency. That's the model that we're trying to bring forward slowly. It is different, right? Not everybody does that, and we do have to do a lot of stuff manually because the tools are just not there for us for it.
Yeah.
But eventually they will be, or maybe we'll build it, with time as we secure some funding here. And, there's a lot of opportunities. And I mean, at the same time, it's so evolving. And we're trying to adapt, and we're still here, guys, and we're not going anywhere, and we're going to keep providing value for you guys via Byron's art. And we have a lot of ideas, and April, May, I think there's going to be a lot of final ideas that we're actually going to present to the community, maybe even have them vote, maybe see what they think about it and get their opinions, because at the end of the day, that's why we launched the Creepy Companions. We want the holders from that DAO to actually have a say a bit in exactly what Byron wants to do. And if we get their stamp of approval, I think we have success, whether it be on Solana, whether it be on Base, whether it be on Polygon, whether it be on Stargaze. If the community sticks around and follows you, I think that's how we really push the Horde mentality. That's what we're trying to do. And the markets are not cooperating, but the people are still there, and the people like the whole Horde thing, and that's what we're going to push forward with your art. So I'm going to keep it at that. Let's keep some conversation for Thursday.
Sure.
And I'll let you close it off, Byron.
All right. So, as you know, I started off this today with a blank canvas, and I want to do a bunch of skulls. So that's what I've attempted to paint today. I'll probably finish it off, but I'll record it so that I can have a complete video of it. But I think it turned out okay so far. In other news, we just keep grinding, and that's about it. Just keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir. And I'm probably gonna free myself up a bit more. My wife is actually working from here too, so I'm gonna be online quite a bit this week.
Nice.
I'd like to have a nice discussion of some of the ideas that I have, share them with you, and if we're ready, we can even start slowly presenting. I would really like to start the whitelisting part, because I think that brings some engagement to the community, the Discord.
Okay.
And just the fact that they know that something's coming, well, it's going to be good for the collection. So
I agree.
We'll keep it at that. So thanks, Byron, for joining us today. I can't wait to see where we're going to put this one. Maybe we'll let the community vote.
Yeah.
Because this one, that would be a nice physical to send with it. So
It sure would. And you know what the nice thing is? It's ready to hang, right? Like, it's all a wrapped frame. All you need is a nail, and you can hang it right on your wall right away. Straight out of the box.
All right, Byron.
All right.
I'm going to go back to the sunshine, and I'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Have a great day. Cheers, Superman.
All right.
And thanks for watching,
All right,
everybody.
take care, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.